Hey YouTube, I'm Brick Smith, and welcome to Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle, Esquire, right here
Twice removed.
on his mom side.
Yes.
Look, there's Kevin.
Hello.
How you doing, Kevin? And welcome to Forever Sorting with your name in the title.
Hello, Julian. How are you?
Oh, you know,
How are you?
I am fair to Midland.
I've not heard that before.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, we're back. We're back again for
Back
another
again.
riveting continuation of our episodic tale.
Is this intro episode 2?
No, we don't. We dare not.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it to him this fast.
We might be playing wolf. You know, like you can't. You got to wait till it's earned.
There
You
go.
can't just throw it out there.
Sure.
But so I'll do a decent intro. How about that? I'll just do it regular.
I do like decent intros.
Decent intro. So hello everybody. Thank you guys again for coming in for another episode of Forever Sorting. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you having interest in this show. If you're just joining right now, what's wrong with you? Go back to episode 1. This is a tale. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I'd say we're definitely past the middle, just so you know. But head back. We have playlists. Julian has a playlist here.
Mine are not complete, so go look at Kevin's if you want to watch the whole thing.
There are playlists available. If you have any interest in following me outside of this program, you can find me on social media at Mr. Kevin Hinkle. I'm a freelance artist, so I'm always looking for projects. If you have something in mind, you can reach out to me on my website at kevinahinkle.com, or you can find just my artwork on social media at Mr. Hinkle Draws. And before we dive into today's discussion, a couple last things. Bricks in the Middle, comic series I run for Lego fans about Lego fans. We are in volume 3. We just launched a new comic a couple days ago. But you can find more information at bricksinthemiddle.com or social media at BITM Comics. And AFL Shirts, which is the service I run with Bricks on the Dollar. We have a new shirt coming out next month, and always sign up before the end of the month to get the next month's shirt. So at the time of this recording, we still have a couple more days. So I think actually you guys listening, if you're listening to it when it drops, you have until midnight tonight to sign up for the next shirt.
What day does the show air, Kevin?
Sunday.
What time, Kevin?
At 7 in the morning.
Good job, Kevin.
So that means you have till midnight tonight. And you can get the next shirt, which is a fusion of Alpha Team. We're going hardcore way back. Alpha Team and Marvel's Hail Hydra. So check that out. AFL Shirts is on bricksonthedollar.com.
Nice.
And there we are. And there we are. Brings us to today.
Oh, what's that knocking, Kevin?
Is it Destiny?
No, actually, that is our 1-year anniversary coming up. Oh, real soon.
What? Oh, that's right. It's like in July, right?
Correct. We're going to celebrate on the 14th. I know what I said before, but things got changed, and Kevin told all the secrets.
Sorry.
So after Brittany Starshine, and the 72 and part of the 72-hour stream, Forever Sorting is going to have a 2-hour live stream.
Yeah, if any of you guys happen to not know anything about what Julian just said about 72 hours, it was new to me a year ago.
Come on, Kevin.
But it's a really cool thing that happens every year.
God bless Haley Bricks. What?
Yeah, across numerous channels.
Countries.
In countries, for sure. I mean, the internet is not limited to any country in particular. But it's kind of amazing. It's kind of like a baton race where different channels take turns hosting a segment of time during a 72-hour period. And the party just kind of rolls from channel to channel to channel.
Yes,
So there'll be information soon when they start sharing out like what channels are hosting what times, and if you want to join in the party, do so, because it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty amazing that you can just check in at any point and somebody's streaming somewhere.
Yeah,
So it's pretty
it happens. It starts. I think it's going to start Friday morning with your channel, and then with mine Sunday night.
it was going to start with my channel.
What did you
Unfortunately,
do now?
I
Is this still some of the more of the same? You ain't got to go into detail.
Let's just say I double committed myself to two things at the same time.
That's fine. Everybody knows. If you know what it is, put it in the comments below.
One of those things, and I did try to change, was not changeable. So
yeah, locked in, folks. I didn't realize that affected yours. I thought you were going to do yours.
No, because like that is the time. Like that time, I'm hitting the road and driving.
That starts it. Okay.
And then I'm back home Saturday night at like probably 11 at night. And so it's like that 2-day thing.
And you're going to get some good rest, and then the next day.
Yeah, we'll be good. Sunday will be good.
Yeah, we're going to definitely do our Forever Sorting 2-hour live special. And you know, Kevin, they don't come around too often.
They don't.
The Forever Sorting live.
That's right. It's
in a year
we've only done
one. Yep. So
this is number 2.
This is the deuce.
So bring your questions. Bring your questions.
Yeah, bring your questions.
Or just discussion.
Okay, so Kevin.
Yes.
You just got back from billing, according to the story.
I did.
Good job on that, by the way.
Thank you.
You handled it with diplomacy and grace, like we knew you could.
I didn't let my country down.
Point on that, Kevin.
Yeah.
You were born, and I'm not trying to put you out there. You're born in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And making you a child of the 90s.
Right.
Okay.
100%.
I was born in the 70s. I was a child of the 80s. And I just wanted to let you know about something that I feel like changed between the 80s and the 90s.
Okay, I'm ready.
When I stayed up past Letterman in 84,
yep.
I got on NBC, mind you. I got the Star Spangled Banner and then Dead Air.
Oh, interesting.
So if you're 80s and back, we had Dead Air in America.
Interesting.
Then time from the late 80s to the early 90s came the infomercial.
Yep.
And they paid to take that time slots all night long.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the cable brought the special channels and we're going to run a marathon of the Three Stooges because we have it and you can't stop us.
Yep. And entered into the era of 24-hour television at some point
in America. Correct. Apparently, Denmark has not figured that out yet.
They're a couple decades behind.
It seems to be. But I don't figure it's something. I don't figure 90s kids know that.
Nope.
Because why would you were 3 and 4 and 2 know?
Yeah, why would I?
You were getting your diaper changed when there was no TV on at 4 o'clock in the morning. By the way,
I've
never woken her up there.
I'm a 2-year-old. I pull out my smartphone and start like typing notes. The television doesn't work. No, not so interesting.
Fun fact, and no one else mentioned that from being in it. I guess they didn't want to hurt your feelings.
That's fine. Hey, don't feel bad. You can hurt my feelings if you need to, just so you know, for the record. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Sorry, that was a little fun fact about the 80s. I forgot to tell you about it. I'm sitting here going, I remember there not being any television on it for.
Yeah. No, and I haven't looked. I'll usually check a couple of days after, like 2 to 3 days, once something goes live for comments and stuff like that, and then I won't usually go back for a while.
But nobody said anything.
So
I check them. I'm reading your comments, and I love you, but Kevin's going to be the one to answer them.
That's usually how things go down. Okay, cool. So I mentioned last time. I mean, so that whole international trip is done and beyond me.
Yes.
Or I should say the first one, and we were coming back over. And we already had something we needed to do pretty quickly, which was go to my first BrickCon in Seattle. So those of you that have been around me long enough know that I'll typically refer to the big three. for cons, for Lego fan organized conventions in the United States. And the big three consists of
Brick Universe,
Brick World in Chicago.
Yeah.
And you have to specify location. Brick World in Chicago.
For sure.
Brick Fair in Virginia, and BrickCon. BrickCon is the longest running fan convention in the United States.
So it wasn't the first, but it's the longest running.
It wasn't the first, but it's the longest running today.
Okay. What was the first?
The first one was the original Brickfest.
Okay, back in DC?
Yep.
Okay.
That was the first one. You
What
can
year?
still 2000 and I want to guess 2003. Actually, I think if you look at brickfest.com, I think the website still exists and it's still up. Maybe I'm wrong. Brickfest does not bring up anything.
There you go.
It was for many years after it was up, but it's now doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, I got to interrupt you again. I got another sidebar.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Brick, the ones that do the World War II stuff. Brick Army,
Mania,
Brick Mania. They were showing they opened a store in Minnesota.
Yeah,
right across from there, and they were doing a tour. Beyond the Brick was doing a tour with them. Just I think the video dropped on the 26th, and it had dear old Kevin holding down a machine gun in the history of their creations.
Really?
Yeah. So you're in the showcase.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that before. I think.
Yeah, your little minifig is holding down like some gun.
Yeah, they've had over the years a couple really cool dioramas.
Yeah.
And there's been a history of putting my Lego employee business card in that diorama, doing something.
It's in the showcase in Minnesota now. So if you ever get the chance to get up there, everybody, go check them out and tell them Kevin and Brick Smith sent you.
There it is.
I dare you.
That's super awesome.
I double dog dare you.
You've been double dogged, everybody. hashtag double dog. Yeah. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. So it's the longest. As I was saying, BrickCon is the longest currently operating Lego fan organized convention in the United States, and BrickCon has kind of a fascinating history. So, for example, if you search out BrickCon on Twitter, its Twitter handle is NW BrickCon, and that stands for Northwest BrickCon.
Oh,
and you're like, well, that's interesting. Why would it say that? And once upon a time, in a more innocent era, there were ambitions of having multiple BrickCons, maybe one in Northwest, maybe one on the East Coast, or what have you. And so when BrickCon first started, it started with the name Northwest BrickCon. That's how it began. And then, it worked out really well for them. It was a very successful show. And, the ambition wasn't necessarily there to go all in and expand out. So they trimmed it and it became BrickCon. But it still has the Twitter handle NW BrickCon to this day. And some of the really old guard that went to the first couple of events still kind of just habitually refer to it as Northwest BrickCon. It's like, well, but there's only one BrickCon, so all right. But so it was my first time to go to BrickCon, and for me, in my new role as a North American community coordinator, who was really supporting Jim as the senior community manager, this was my first quote unquote big show. This was the first big one. I went to Brick Fiesta. Brick Fiesta was awesome. There was a lot of great memories from it, but it by no means was a big show.
No.
And then I was moving during Brick Fair, Virginia, so I missed that completely.
It was a year.
What's that?
It was a year for BrickCon.
2011.
Okay.
2011. And so I missed Brick Fair, Virginia. Jim was there. I was not. And then there really wasn't anything else. And Brick Fete in Toronto, but again, I wasn't fully integrated into the role. But this was the next big show, and this was also where kind of the show season ended for the year. So when I kind of came into this role, there was only really about 6 Lego fan conventions in North America.
Sure.
So Brick World obviously was there. Brick Fair was obviously there. BrickCon was there. Brick Fiesta had just started. Brick Fete in Toronto, and Bricks by the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and Brick Magic. So there were 7. That was it. Pretty sure that's all.
Yeah.
And then, of course, through the years, as we all know today, we've added so many more shows to that. But
more shows, we've ordered more locations from the shows.
Yes, some of the existing shows have branched out and expanded. So BrickCon, I think, takes place in an absolutely gorgeous location. Anyone familiar with the Seattle area knows that, you know, it's famous for the Space Needle, and it has kind of this gorgeous outdoor kind of, not necessarily like your typical convention center, like giant expo center, 120,000 square feet of just wide open space and columns and lights, you know, like it doesn't really have that. It has kind of like these nicer, smaller little expo halls and rooms and meeting rooms, and it's called the Seattle Center, and it's underneath and kind of surrounding the Space Needle. So BrickCon uses that area for their event. So it's not the largest area.
Right.
It could absolutely grow if it had the space to grow, but it can't. Like it's reached maximum capacity.
But does it really? Does it want to grow?
And that's the thing, is if you ask the owner, so a man by the name of Wayne Hussey owns BrickCon, and Wayne is not necessarily interested in that. He is very happy with the event. He's very happy with how it's grown and matured and evolved. He loves the atmosphere. He loves the vibe. He's not really interested in, you know, turning this into a giant enterprise, into a, you know, world conquering exhibit. Like, he's just happy with where it is.
Yeah.
So he's not necessarily interested. Now you start talking to the participants, you get opinions all across the board. Right? People that have been there are like, no, it should stay here. It should stay class roots. You have people who, no, it needs to grow and expand. We need to move into the Seattle Convention Center downtown. You kind of get everything, but according to Wayne and the people that are in the inner circle, I think they're very happy with where it is, and that's fine. As a result of that, there is a cap. Like, it can only handle so many people.
Yeah.
It can only handle so many exhibitors. It can only handle so many public. BrickCon has, I think, on a few occasions had to have the fire marshal there because there's too many public and they can't let more people in. Wow. And so that's been a thing. They usually run out of display space very quickly, and that's just the end of it. There's no more space. Can't bring your stuff.
That's true.
There was a couple of years right there in the beginning, like 2011, 2012, 2013, where they were getting pretty close to that 500 exhibitor mark, which I believe is a cap for them. Like, they can't take more than that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if they actually hit it, but they got really close to it. So this was my first BrickCon. There's a lot of very prolific builders that go to that event. It was also from that time period, I saw it as the most international fan organized event here in the United States. There was a lot of people that came over from Europe, Canadians. I think it's also because it's Seattle, so it's kind of a closer area for airports and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I noticed there was a nice showing of international fans. And this was the first event I was at where we were tasked by Lego to reveal an upcoming product.
Oh.
So this was a new thing that I didn't necessarily know happened. And so the direct-to-consumer D2C products had, through efforts of the community team and whoever else needed to be involved, had come to the arrangement that, hey, those Lego sets that we make that are directly aimed towards adult fans, we should maybe consider revealing them to the world at their shows. So, yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? And you can go back.
Good idea.
Yeah, you can go back in the Wayback Machine and start looking through old photos, and you can see like Steve Witt, who was the community guy before me and before Jim. He had like announced the Medieval Market Village at a fan event. So there's other examples. So we were tasked with unveiling the Mini Modulars VIP set. So that was like the small cafe corner, the small market street, the small green grocer,
There's one more.
and the fire brigade.
There you go. First four.
And,
I remember
exactly.
walking into that going, wow, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and what's really cool about it, I mean, here's a little aside story. These are what you guys come here for, right? For the interesting little stories. That kit was never designed to be a kit. It was literally Jamie Berard, who's our senior product designer at Lego. He's been for many years.
Yeah.
He had built that as a gift for another employee, like a colleague.
Oh.
And he was the designer responsible for the cafe corner, for the green grocer, for the fire brigade. He didn't do the Market Street because the Market Street was a Lego factory fan design product.
You can tell.
And I think the fan name was Eric Brock, I believe.
I believe you're correct.
Who has since passed away. He has passed away. I think he passed away right before his set became available, I think, too.
Wow.
Which was, I mean, sucks, right? Yeah. But so Jamie had created this little gift for somebody. I don't remember if that person was leaving Lego or if like something happened, but it was a gift for somebody. That's why he made it. And he had it on his desk. And if you ever get the chance to walk around the design area of Lego, where there were anywhere from 200 to 300 product designers, basically in a three floor field, their desks are some of the most inspirational and amazing things to see. Because not only is it the products that they're working on and designing, they have all these table scraps, these like little works in process, these sketch models, just littered all. I mean, it's a very creative space.
Nice.
And so you see the most amazing things. Over the years, some of these things have popped up in other stuff. Lego had a social media post, I think last year, where there was a pug with red sneakers riding on a skateboard. And it was for some random social media post. But that model was sitting on Marcos Bessa's desk for like 5 years. So it was just something he built for fun or to get a breakaway from the project he was working on or what have you. And it was just sitting back there on his bookcase for years. So they're amazing. So somebody, more than likely a marketing person, because marketing has a lot of power. Marketing was walking by and saw this really cool little mini modular set and said, how do we turn this into a product? That's happened a few times. That's actually happened a couple times. Another notable case of that is the General Grievous set. Oh. If you remember that, like the really big tall one, not the construction one, but the big one. That was another like, hey, what's that on your desk? Let's turn it into a product.
You just told me a secret a little while ago about one that happened like that.
Oh yeah, yes. So I don't remember what it was. I believe you. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, you do.
So they turned it into a product and they decided to make it a VIP exclusive, which of course, I mean, it really doesn't mean anything. It's like only VIPs can buy it. Well, you could sign up for a VIP card in 2 seconds and it's free. Yeah. So, but I get it and I actually approve of it. I think it's a cool little thing. So we got a volume sample, which is what it's called, ahead of time so that we can assemble it, put it together, and take it to the show to show it off.
Right on.
A volume sample is basically like a Ziploc bag of the parts.
Yikes.
So it's hand pulled. Somebody in Billund is given a piece index of all the parts in the set. They will hand pull it. They'll put it in a bag. They'll usually zip tie it. It's not pre-numbered. It's none of that. Yeah. And the instructions are, at that time, they were printed out on 11 by 17 sheets of paper. Not even bound, just sheets of paper, and provided to us. So we would get a box, open it up, and you have the volume sample, just a giant bag zip tied up with the parts in it, and a stack of 11 by 17 sheets of paper. Again, not bound. If I drop it, oops, all the pieces fly everywhere, and I got to rearrange it. Later on in my years, they even stopped giving us that, and they only gave us a digital file. So they said, here's the digital file of the instructions. Which then I would just print out on my end because I said these are trash. I can't use this digital file to build this. But getting ahead of myself. So we would get that and we would build it. Always build it before. So build it before we would go to the event, which provided some challenges, right? Because If you build something like the Sandcrawler, now I have to travel with an assembled Sandcrawler.
Yeah,
but additionally, when the heck am I going to have time to build it when I'm at the show? You know, so it's like if I got to show it off, I have to build it ahead of time because a lot of those builds are big and they take anywhere from 4 hours to build to 6 to 8 to 10 to 15 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it creates an interesting issue. Now, the mini modular was probably one of the smallest products I ever had to reveal. I think the only other one that might have been that small was the Mars Curiosity rover through Lego Ideas.
Yeah.
But everything else was a lot bigger. So Jim and I took that product and I had since it was so small, I could just put it in a cardboard box. Mm-hmm. So I remember being at the opening ceremonies of BrickCon in Seattle, sitting in the front row, holding this cardboard box. Again, deer in the headlight. I don't know what's going on. This is all new to me. I've only been doing community anything for the last July, August, September, October, 4 months.
Yikes.
I'm 4 months in. So I'm still like, hey, I'm enjoying the ride, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm just sitting there, and then Jim is sitting next to me. And I think I've probably mentioned this before, but when I took the job, Jim agreed that he would be accompanying me to 4 events. Oh. I basically had 4 opportunities to learn what I needed to do, and then he was out. And so the plan was, first event, I do everything. Don't talk, just watch and listen. Second one is, okay, I'm still going to do everything. I'm still on the ticket, but start engaging in some of the conversations. The third event is a lot more like a partnership, 50-50. You go off that way, talk to people. I'm going to go off that way. We can head back up at whatever time and collaborate and compare notes. The fourth show, I'm not doing anything. You do everything. I don't want people to even know I'm here. You do it all. I'm going to watch you and I'm going to observe. So in that 4 event training period, we're now at event 2 because Brick Fiesta was event 1 for me. BrickCon is event 2 for me. So I'm still just kind of there. I'm only slightly engaging, but this is Jim's show. He's there on behalf of Lego. I'm just kind of the guy with him. So we're there at the opening ceremonies, and I don't remember who was giving it. I don't think it was Wayne. But it was somebody that works with Wayne. He's like, all right, and now we're going to hand it over to the Lego guys. I have something to announce. And I was like, all right, it's the time. I don't know what I'm saying. And so we went up there, and I literally stood next to Jim while Jim was at the podium, and he said, all right, bring it out. I brought out the set. I put it on. There are pictures floating around of me and him sitting there next to the set. And he shared the piece count, the product information, when it was going to be available, basic information, and said, and there you go. And then we put it in the thing. Everybody clapped and took photos, and we sat down. And I was like, that was kind of lackluster. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I feel like that could have been a lot more amped up to 11.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. Much A falls.
So, keep that in mind as we continue our tale. That was one of my goals, was to kind of spruce up the unveilings over the years to make them a little bit more fun. But that was my first one. I was like, all right, well, that happened. And went back. What was also interesting, and I remember this pretty vividly, is that was one of my first encounters with a upset AFOL.
Oh dear.
And there was plenty more of those.
AFOL get upset?
Right. Never heard of it. What a foreign concept. So weren't upset at me personally.
You're Kevin.
Or me at all, really, because nobody still knows me. Right. Like, I'm still not known. But we finished up the opening ceremonies, and people start they just start disseminating out into the event.
Yeah.
And an older gentleman from California, I found out, just beeline straight towards me and Jim. And I don't know anybody. And so, he goes straight over to Jim because he knows Jim. He doesn't know me. He goes straight over to Jim and just starts railing him. And I'm like, what's happening? I don't know what's happening. And he was, I'm pretty sure it was about lug bulk, but I'm so new at this stage, I can't tell you what his complaints were because the language is foreign to me. I was like, I don't know what he's mad about, but he's mad about something. And it was something about lug bulk. It was probably something to do with maybe timing, maybe invoicing. I don't know, but you know, and we'll get into the Love Boat program in detail later on. But he was upset, and Jim handled it really well. You know, he calmed the situation down or whatever. But what stuck in my head is Jim goes, and by the way, Kevin's the new guy, so from here on out, you will be talking to him, not me anymore. After this guy has just been yelling at him for like 15 minutes or whatever, and I'm just sitting there watching this unfold, and he takes out his phone, and this is an older guy. He's probably late 60s, early 70s, older guy, white hair. And he pulls out his flip phone. I remember he had a flip phone, and he goes, "You're the new guy." And I was like, "Yeah, my name's Kevin. Nice to meet you." He's like, you know, shook my hand or whatever. Pulls out his flip phone, puts it right in my face, and he goes, "I'm taking your photo." And he took a picture, and I was like, "This is so weird." And he goes, "All right, I'm creating a contact for you. What is your phone number? What is your email?" And I mean, I've never met this guy.
Wow.
And he's sitting and he puts in, he goes, "All right, now I know who to call when I'm upset about something. Enjoy." And then he walks away. And over the years, did I hear from him? A little bit. Actually, he was not really one of my quote unquote troublemakers.
Wow.
He was fine, but he also very much fizzled out of the community a couple of years after that.
Real quick, name somebody that's on your troublemaker list.
Name somebody who's on it. I will not do that. No. Not do that.
I tried, everybody. I tried.
But rest assured, they exist.
I know they do.
It's not a vast list, but there are a few people that gave me a lot of headaches over my time.
The business folks.
They gave me all kinds of business. But that was a vivid memory of my first BrickCon. Was this random guy being mad at Jim telling him I'm the guy taking over, and him taking a picture of my face right in front of me.
Nice.
But outside of that, though, outside of like, you know, those cool little things like experiencing the event for the first time, unveiling a product, seeing a mad aphel in its natural habitat, the event was kind of a blur. I mean, I've been to so many since then. There was some really cool mocks. I took a lot of pictures. The pictures are in my Flickr still, if you want to see them.
What's a Flickr? Sorry.
What is a Flickr? Indeed. We went and visited the local Lego stores to see how things were going. This was a point in time where there still was a discount arrangement with the stores. So people that went to BrickCon would also get a discount at the Lego store. I don't remember what it was at that point because I ended up changing it a year later. But there was some kind of arrangement.
Go ahead.
So we went to the store and just made sure they were doing okay. And, you know, I also met at BrickCon at least 2, probably more people that came over, introduced themselves. I never met them before. And they said, "Oh, hi, my name is so-and-so. Nice to meet you. You're the new community guy. I applied for that role and you obviously got it and I didn't."
Thanks.
Like, I'm like, wow, this is so weird that it keeps out. Like at that event, I had like 4 people that like, that's how they introduced themselves to me. And I'm like, well, this is awkward.
Can you name any of them?
Well, some of them, one of them ended up, I became pretty decent friends with him. So his name is Soren, and he actually still works for Lego today. So he was a Lego employee that worked at the store there. And he was really, really good with just integrating with the local community on a store level. He's still really great. I mean, he's top notch. He knows how to walk the walk and knows how. That was the sound. Everybody, that is the sound of progress, is what that is. But yeah, he did a really good job with integrating with the community. So he had applied. We ended up joking about that first encounter years later, and we still talk to each other every now and then. So some of the other ones were a little bit more awkward, but he worked out okay. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there wasn't really a heck of a lot of other super crazy, earth-shattering things that happened. It was great. It was a good show. I was really getting acclimated to this world. And so after it was done, the plan was to fly back, and we did. Flew back to Connecticut on that Monday. So, it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of affair, and flew back on Monday. And there was no other shows. There was no shows actually until January. So that means I have all of November off and I have all of December off. Yeah. And the next show of January was going to be the very first ever Brick Fair, Alabama. That was going to be the next show. So that is actually a brilliant place to end for today.
There it is.
BrickCon is done. It's my second event ever. I'm still very much in training mode. That is in the books. It is done. And now I've got 2 months at the office to start figuring out more of what my job is going to be and getting ready for my next show, which is Brick Fair, Alabama.
Brick Fair, Alabama.
For the first time. Show never even happened before.
Wow. That was January 2012.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. And that was, and we'll get into that, but that was the first time Todd, who owns Brick Fair, said, I wonder if I could do another show. And so he added, and then Brick Fair stopped being just Brick Fair, and Brick Fair became Brick Fair, Virginia, and Brick Fair, Alabama. And you can no longer just say Brick Fair, because what does that mean? You have to specify.
You have to. Awesome stuff. That thank you, Kevin, for sharing. That's Kevin.
Julian is on the other side, right over there.
Amen. I guess for all of us, from Forever Sorting to you, thanks for watching, and remember,
Got to sort those bricks.
bye.